Hi, good afternoon. It's Jerry and it's Friday, and that means it's Encouragement Friday. So if you remember from last week, we were talking about The Traveler's Gift. It's a great book by Andy Andrews, and we're going to be going over the 7 decisions, 1 decision a week. And last week we talked about the first decision, which is the buck stops here. This week's decision is I will seek wisdom. Now that seems pretty basic, you know. We all know that everything in life has told us that it's a great idea to seek wisdom. As we get into a technological time period that we're in, wisdom really has gotten very thinned out in some ways, and in some ways we just have to redefine what seeking wisdom means. So let's start with the first one, which is information. A person who is looking to make awesome decisions in life does need good information. And think about it. How often do you have a great idea, but you really don't know how to put that idea in motion? Well, the best thing about living in this time period right now is that we've got unlimited access to information. I grew up in the 80s and the early 90s, and so my access to information was books, encyclopedias, and dictionaries. And believe you me, I spent a great deal of my childhood reading encyclopedias, and if I asked my parents what a word meant, it was go look it up, and I gladly did. And so for me, having access to Google is like having the universe's biggest encyclopedia. I love to learn, and I love to gather information and teach myself new things, and I just think it's wonderful. I also think that it's the first time in all of our history that we can actually break down a lot of barriers that separate people just based on access to information. Because over time, that has been what limited individuals from doing great things or becoming the people that they were born to be, because their access to information was so limited. So I just want you to remember, even if you think of the internet or social media or things like that as a crazy place to interact and be, there's no easier place to learn, especially when there's universities out there like MIT who have all of their courses online for free for you to learn and garner information from. So a part of I Will Seek Wisdom has to do with a commitment to continually learning, reading books, listening to podcasts, looking information up. Don't just settle for not knowing anything anymore. If you take the time to think up your question correctly, you can find anything on the internet as well as your local library. So that's the first level of seeking wisdom from this perspective. And the second level is being very mindful of the people that you choose to keep around you, because if you don't do that, you can't do the third thing. But you got to know that the people you keep around you are a lot of who you are. If your friends complain all the time, it's real easy for you to complain. If you're friends with Betty don't got a job, it's easy to not want to work. And if you're friends with Joe Sue who blows all of her money, it's easier for you to not have a good budget yourself. So if you're in a path of life right now that you want to be really successful or start to garden and flourish a lot of positivity in your life, then you've really got to choose your friends with care. And that's tough, because a lot of times some of our closest friends are the ones that really are keeping us boxed into a way of thinking, boxed into a way of acting, boxed into a way of talking, and a way of existing. And if your dreams are outside of the box of people that you're in, you're not ever going to get to those dreams. I'm sure you've all heard that little tale about a bucket of crabs. You know, you can put crabs in a bucket and they'll never come out of the bucket, because if one starts to climb up to the edge, the rest of them will pull him down in that bucket. And if you think about it, if you have friends that anytime you've got an idea, they're like, man, you're never going to do that. Girl, you're too dumb to do that. Those are the same crabs in your bucket that are going to keep pulling you down. So even though you've probably heard from your mom, your dad, maybe other people, those friends are bringing you down. That's how they're bringing you down. Because if you are just always on their level, but your dreams are up here, then you're being brought down by your friends. So you have to take care with the friends that you choose. Because the third element here that we're going to look at is listening to the counsel of wise men. And if your friends and the people that you keep around you are not wise, that doesn't really help you if that's who's giving you advice. So hopefully you do have some good friends that you could seek the counsel of. But a lot of times the wise men or the wise women that you want to seek counsel with are ones who are already achieving what you're looking to achieve. They're the ones who are already successful. The behaviors and the lifestyles that you want to mimic, that's who you need to try your best to talk to. And sometimes it might just be a leader at your work or in an organization that you're involved in. But those are the people that are really going to give you genuine advice. And typically, if you seek wisdom and counsel with people outside of your little sphere, you're going to get so much more information. So if there's a mentor that you could take, if there's a coach that you could afford to bring into your life, those will all give you access to some form of wise counsel. But remember, if you keep a couple of good friends around you, then hopefully those could be characters that you draw, wise counsel from as well. And then the fourth area of I will seek wisdom comes in the spirit of a servant. Having a servant's heart. I became very in tune with this concept 14, 15 years ago with the company that I worked with. The guy that ran the company, I also considered a very dear, wise mentor. And he believed more in service to others than I think he probably believed in anything. And in fact, it was service above self. And he was a part of the Rotary Club. And that was something that we talked about all the time to the people that worked in our company, the people that worked for us, was always going from a spirit of serving other people. Not worrying if somebody's going to hold the door for you, but being excited to run up and hold the door for somebody else. And that is something that I really try to embody so much in my life is being helpful. And I love that I focus on it so much because I see when my children pick up on it. My daughters notice that I even offer to help, the older lady at the grocery store unpacking her stuff into her car. If I see an opportunity or a little way that I could help somebody, I'm Johnny on the spot or Jane on the spot to say, can I give you a hand? Can I help you? Or to tell someone, you're doing all right. The day will get better. Like that mom that's got that screaming baby. It doesn't hurt to give her a smile. That's even a little way that you can serve her. And that's a concept that has become quite foreign to a lot of us. So we've become a part of a culture and a society that's me, all about me. And I hope that's working for you if that's what your mode is. But I really think to have long-term happiness and to have long-term success, you've got to serve other people with a giving spirit and to serve others above yourself. And you'll find that it adds so much value to yourself. And a lot of times you'll pick up some nuggets of wisdom from the individuals that you take the time to give a little bit of care to, a little bit of service to. But I really think that these 4 ideas under the umbrella of I will seek wisdom can really change what's going on for you in your life. And so today, more than anything, I want to encourage you to step out of your box a little bit, and instead of just assuming that you know everything, or that the few people that you associate with know everything, then open up a book. Google something, look something up. Stop limiting yourself by what you believe is the amount of information that you have around you. Start taking the time to think about, what are the friends like that you've got around you, and what behaviors are you taking on, or do you carry that you realize that don't even have to do with you, it's something to do with them. And then, who are some people in your life, or even in social media, that you'd like to seek wise counsel with? You'd be surprised if you sent a message or sent a DM on Instagram to someone that you admired, and you express that, I admire you, I've got a question, and I want to seek someone that has got the wisdom to answer me. And you know what? The worst they can do is just not answer you. But if you put that out to the world, if you put that out to God or your belief system, that information is going to come to you. And the last thing is, I really just want you to look into employing a servant's heart and looking for opportunities to serve others, because the more you put out there of that, the more it's going to come back to you. So I will seek wisdom. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have the best day ever.